Hello, gentle viewers. This is Guardian, welcoming you back to Out of the Park Baseball 26, featuring the Colorado Rockies. Our previous episode, we had probably the single most important offensive addition to our roster ever in Naganori Ida. A very risky ad, but one that, if it works out, probably means that we win the World Series. He's also a very nice player, I'm just now noticing. So, to set the tone for this entire episode, this is either the last episode of the series, or it's not. Because, as I said for the past few weeks, one championship is all we're going to go for. For lots of reasons. As I look into the game today, I actually noticed I haven't played the game at all, except for this channel. And that's not to say that I dislike this version of OOTP or that it's not a great game, because I think it is a great game and I'm having a lot of fun playing it for the channel. It's more... OOTP used to be a lifestyle game for me. It used to be the only game that I would play. And now there's just so many great games, and I have less time to play games because I'm working full time. Now I have to commute into the office. You may recall I'm a federal employee, and I lost my telework privileges, which sucks, but whatever. It's better than not having a job at all, so I'm not going to complain too much. But that means that I've had less time to just play games, period, and when I do play games, I'm wanting to play something either new or 100% something. Like, I'm currently working on 100%ing Cyberpunk 2077, so... All I have to say, this is the first time I think I've ever played OTP where I haven't touched a game outside of recording videos. Both the Baseball 101 series, the White Sox series, and then this Rockies series. So, just kind of an interesting footnote from somebody that has, just to give you an idea of what I mean by it used to be a lifestyle game for me. I have 1,100 hours in OTP 16. And No, the game that would actually be number one would actually probably be OTP 14, because I lived in Russia for a year, and when I lived in Russia I had no internet, so I couldn't connect to Steam regularly, and what that meant was it didn't record any of my hours playing the game, because I didn't play it once I came back because I had OTP 15 by then. But yeah, so 16 is my personal top game of all time. In terms of hours played on Steam. So, just a fun little fact about me, in case something you're interested in. The top non-OTP game, by the way, is Tabletop Simulator. Which I occasionally play with my friends if the D&D group doesn't happen. So, all that to say, I play the game a lot. But not 26, and it's not because of anything about the quality of 26, I just haven't played it outside of the video. So yeah, with that little fun factor out of the way, other big changes in the offseason. We traded Drew Romo and put Bryant Milam now as our starting catcher. This makes the team as a whole gel much more nicely, because now I can do things like putting Isaiah Swain at DH instead of his dreadful run in right field. Like, he was literally the worst. Yeah, so I really freed things up quite a bit for us. Pitching staff is mostly the same. We do have Ruben Santa Cruz up in the majors. I want him to pitch meaningful games, but there's things about him that question, in my heart of hearts, how effective he'll be long-term as a starter. One of the great traps of OTP, and it's something that I used to do quite a lot when I was a less experienced player, is looking at these numbers to the exclusion of anything else. And that's a mistake. Ruben Santa Cruz right now would probably be a fairly competent starting pitcher. But there are some things about him that I think could cause him to be a little bit less effective. By far the most important of the fact is which none of his pitches are fully developed yet. If he's going to be a top starter, this has to happen. he needs this cutter desperately to work out to be like a 55 or a 60 or even an 80 style pitch. If the cutter doesn't work for him, he's basically a back of the rotation guy. If the cutter does work for him, he becomes maybe not an ace, but ace level. Like maybe a solid number 2 or a really, really good number 3. This affects his ceiling more than anything else because it doesn't have a ton of velocity. So he's going to have to rely very heavily on movement to get people out. I think he's capable of doing it. I really believe that. Also, I love his screwball. Like, when people throw screwballs, they tend to be lefties anyway, so a right-handed screwballer, even if it's just, like, a fun pitch he throws maybe 5 or 6 times a game, is going to fuck with people. Please correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. I don't think anybody today actually throws a screwball. It's just too dangerous. It's too bad on your elbow. The guy I remember that used to throw a screwball was John Franco, right? The guy who played for the Mets as a reliever. I think he threw a screwball. Now I feel like I have to Google it. Did John Franco throw a screwball? Oh, wow. I am utterly devastated. Apparently, back in the day, everyone thought he threw a screwball, but he said during an interview that he actually threw a circle change. I knew Christy Mathewson threw a screwball. Interesting. Apparently, people say it's not particularly stressful on a pitcher's arm. But I know it's a very difficult pitch to throw effectively. I guess Devin Williams throws one if you're wanting somebody who is currently a pitcher. Clark Griffith threw a screwball, the same guy that owned, what is it, the Washington Senators, right? Because I'm fairly sure that's why I thought he owned the Senators. Yeah, he did. He was the largest single shareholder. Cool. All right, friends. So that's the thing. So Ruben Santa Cruz, I think he's a good pitcher. I think he could even be a great one, but I think he's not there yet. Other notable additions to the roster. Let's quickly go to acquisition view, which I find to be the easiest way to see people that were added recently. Obviously, offensively, it's Ida, first, last, and forever. Pitching wise, I don't think we added anybody new. If we did, it's like a bullpen guy, maybe. Nick Aronson was actually just drafted last year, which is pretty wild that a 12th round pick is already in the major leagues, but it's not that wild, I guess. But yeah, so these are we mostly ran it back, and look, we've made the postseason now for a couple years, so last year we should have made the postseason. We missed it by a single game. Remember, we tied with the Mets in the wild card. So this is a big deal. This is absolutely the most important season for us in the game's history, and I think we got the horses to get it done. Will Levy is very good. Pineda's good. Shin is good. Abel is okay. Ozuna is okay. These two guys here are mostly just keeping Ruben Santa Cruz's chair warm until I'm confident that he can be a starter. I want to watch that cutter very closely, and I want to watch his movement. Those are the two things that I'm really interested in seeing him develop in his initially limited audition. Who's the best reliever in baseball? Begin helps a lot. Even though he's getting paid a lot of money, I think he deserves it. So let's just play some games at this point, right? But yeah, given the insane amount of money we invested this past offseason, this is quite literally win or bust. I'm not saying that we're completely screwed if we don't win the World Series this year, or even if we don't make the postseason, but I think it becomes very questionable if we do fail to make the postseason. Scott Wadlington is getting better, which is kind of fun. Mostly because of his name. Never underestimate the power of a player's name. Let's play some baseball, guys. Let's baseball well. Okay, that's what I'm looking for here. Oh, we've got this stuff. This is probably the only thing I wish I hadn't done for this series, by the way, is enforce the age limits. This is kind of irritating that I have to keep doing it, but we'll sort it. All right. I'm pretty sure Braden Booth and Kyle Diamond were both on that list. I'm gonna release Johnny Vitelli just because he sucks. Evan Rubin, I think, needs to go. And now where are we at? 9 players gotta go. Okay, fine. Bob Leandry. I also have so many rookies that this is completely fine. Like, this is just making room. Um... Sean Hildreth is somebody I wouldn't mind keeping around as a third baseman. I guess a guy like an Adam Tharp could be released. A guy like a Steven Brockman, maybe, if I want to make room in Double A. Like, Adam Tharp is never going to pitch in the major leagues. I shouldn't say, like, never, ever, ever, but it's not going to happen. He's never excelled even in Double A, so I think Tharp's time is just gone at this point. Just frees up the possibility of moving people up. Like a Dan Morales, for example, I think is worthy of being in Double A. Alright, we still got to get rid of 9 players. Braxton Truitt can just disappear. This is the worst combination of offensive skills for a first baseman. It's that I don't strike out. I mean, that's fun. I don't hate it, but it's not good enough. Mike Lay has a legitimate shot to make the majors because of his defense at center field, so I want to promote him to Double A. Kyle Murphy, I think, can depart, so we can promote Mike Lay. Juan Acevedo is... I want to try to trade him real fast. I want to see if that's something that helps. He's not totally hopeless, and so some team might want to give me something for him. Nah. That's reasonable. We can just cut him. I like Lantigua a lot as a possible utility guy, so I think we try to keep him as well. I'm going to send Ed Cooperis down to A-ball just so I can keep Lantigua. I think that's fine. Ryan Costello is not pointless, but also not good, so we can wish him well in his future endeavors. Rob Farmer is center fielder that can't center field. Adrian Fry's the catcher that can't catch. These are like 18th round draft picks, right? It's not like we're devastated these guys didn't work out. I still do like Ramon Aguayo. I think we keep him in some capacity, maybe. I've already got 3 catchers. I've got 4 catchers in Double A. I probably have too many catchers. I think letting Mr. Aguayo here depart is probably acceptable. 3 more players. Hildreth, Alvarez, and Gonzalez. Alvarez. Hildreth. Rich Gonzalez. Okay. We've already Danny Gonzalez in our system long enough. I think promoting him to Double A or promoting him to High A is fine. I've only got 1 catcher there, so I think that's acceptable. Bob Long gets promoted. Promoted. Basically, anybody here that's listed as possibly being removed from the roster gets promoted. until we fill out the roster, and then we'll promote a bunch of rookies. But of course, it might just tell me you got to cut these guys too. If that's the case, then that's the case. But yeah, I don't think I would do this part of it again. The limits to make it too hard to field the team consistently. Ruben Garcia is very much already ready for A-ball, I think. So let's go ahead and promote him. Like, if you've already got a 30 overall, you're generally speaking ready for A-ball, I find. David Martinez, isn't that also the name of the kid from Cyberpunk Edge Runners? I think it is. Hopefully we can get him like a Sandevistan. Actually, that wouldn't really help you as a pitcher, would it? Could I get the guy some fucking gorilla arms so he can throw a fastball like 200 miles an hour? That's your Cyberpunk reference for the day. Apodaka's never played a single inning. I do not wish him to go into the high minors yet. Or the low minors yet. Anybody here? Yeah, Nick Powell can be promoted to A-ball. McLean, Carlino, Ruben Gonzalez, Mancera, Justin Duncan, Clark. Any of you guys here? Omero Delgado, he could be promoted. I just don't want to take everybody from just the one system. The one team, rather. Andy Sanchez, sure. Victor Ochoa. Okay. Neat. Alright, that's that dealt with. Yeah, I knew that was going to happen. Let me just release these gentlemen, and I think it actually takes care of it, maybe. Oh, Nava and Lopez. Okay. That's fine. Where is Nava? Do I just cut Nava? Where's Lopez? Wait, what? I cut Lopez, but then Lopez... Oh, Nava. Yeah, it's this guy. Fuck him, then. Alright. Magdaleno... Dykes, sure. Stoltenberg, McCollum. Ricardo Ponce. And done. To admit, this part, managing the minor leagues, is actually fun to me. It's something that I don't normally do, but I'm kind of glad that I did it for this series. I just wish I hadn't set up the age limits, so I didn't have to keep doing that and wasting time. Losing Milam for 4 months is very rude. Game, that's unkind of you. It's probably Bobby Vega then is promoted. So between Vega and Fauski, who do I want to start? Probably Fauski, just for no other reason than he's older than Vega. And Vega's never played in the major leagues before, so I guess we'll use Fauski. And then Vega can back him up. I guess I could get cute and I could platoon him, maybe. I do want Vega getting regular experience, and he is quite a bit better against lefties than he is. Yeah, let's try that. Why not? Then Fauski backs up Vega, and Vega backs up... No, sorry, I had it the wrong way. Against righties, Fauski plays. Against lefties, Vega plays. That was a very rude game. I don't know why you chose to injure him, but I don't approve of it. I mean, the man had torn ankle ligaments. It's like, I'll be back in 4 months, which is pretty baller of him. Like, we're not dominating most of our opponents, but we are winning quite regularly, and that's what matters most. I don't really care how we get there. I just care that we get there, you know? Don't sock at the Terriers. That's rude. I want to look at Santa Cruz here in a second to see what he improved at. Levy's getting better. Cruz is getting slightly better. Arn's losing velocity already is deeply troubling to me. That's not good. 3 to lose velocity at the age of 23. It's even worse due to the age of 22. This is probably Andy Sanchez cooked as a prospect. Kaiser is not bad. Robbie Brewer made some pretty big jumps. Interesting. Okay. Alright. Let's see how it's going. Going with the proviso, we don't have a ton of at-bats yet, or play appearance yet. I just want to see how things are going. The offense is somehow fourth in runs scored, despite very few of my hitters playing at a high level, which is a little disappointing. Ida, this has to be much, 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 much better. You were brought here to draw walks and hit home runs. You're not really doing either of those things in very high capabilities here. Condon is off to an ice cold start. He is literally frozen. His BABIP is putrid, so this doesn't concern me in the slightest. I'm shocked that we're actually fourth in runs scored. Given the fact that only one player is playing really above board, which is Colin Ritchie. Also, Ezekiel Tovar is struggling, but not that badly. Alright, guys. Not going to bother looking at any other stats. Let's just keep going. Also, Brian Milam is still the second best player on the team, despite the fact he's injured. Is a bit disappointing. It's a bit spooky. I did say I wanted to look at Santa Cruz, didn't I? Thank you for being injured for me. I'm not going to do anything with you, but you give me the chance to look at Santa Cruz and see what, if anything, he improved at. I think the answer is nothing. I think he's gotten slightly better at his overall, and that's it. He also dropped velocity. Yeah, that doesn't excite me. His performance so far has been acceptable. But not anything to get too excited about yet, so I think we just finish the month of May and see where we're at. The team is performing well. Like, it's not a question of the fact that I'm like, oh, this team sucks or whatever. It's just I expected certain players to be, like, top of the division, and he's not. Losing Leon for 2 weeks kind of sucks. Who's next man up? Middle infield edition. We could bring Dalis back. I guess that makes the most sense of all the possibilities, right? We could do Enriquez instead, but Enriquez isn't very good. I think we bring back Dalis, and I think we just don't overthink it. I know I could play Emerson at second base every day. That is a thing that I could do, but I'd rather just use Dalis because he's already an established second baseman. And I like having Emerson on the bench because he can play shortstop. That's very important to me. Very, very important. I mean, defensively, he's at least as good as Tovar. The problem is he has no offensive skills at all. Like, there's no way he's not a bust at this point. I want to see who else was taken in that draft of 2026. Isn't there a way to look at just draft history? I thought. Draft pool. Oh, it goes back to the last draft. That's disappointing. Game, I would be very happy to have a permanent draft history log. If you can give me, like, all this other shit, surely you can give me a draft, an overall draft kind of thing here. But yes, very clearly he was a bust. I mean, there's no disputing it. Unless he like has this amazing second half of his career where he like makes 10 All-Star teams in a row, he's a bust. Um, oh well, you can't win them all. For me, you need to figure out how to not be injured. Okay, I'd like you to just say, "What if I just wasn't injured?" Okay, now Tim Collins thinks we're a very good team. I think we're a very good team, so I'm on board with this. What does everybody want? Head. Oh wow, Snow. Another 1 to 2 weeks for Leon. I'm getting concerned with his durability. Is Mr. Leon? I think he adds a lot to the team. He's such a good second baseman. He's got leadership for days, but he keeps being injured, and that's not great. That means you can't trust him. Um, and having a guy like Dalis is just pure luxury. That I have somebody who's also a very competent second baseman. Charlie Kahn is now second in home runs, so clearly he's been up for his fairly tepid March and April to be ready to go in May. Pretty exciting here. Some fairly minor changes here. Nothing too crazy is happening here. Johnny Anderson's out throwing almost 100 miles an hour. That's pretty sweet. Carlos Martinez is getting better. That's fun. Levy got starter of the month. I mean, he's having a pretty incredible season. Like, it is the correct choice here, right? Like, he's having a phenomenal season. Uh, a 195 batting average when pitching in Colorado for all of your home games is banana. I wish his stamina's a little bit better, I guess, if I had to nitpick him, but otherwise I'm extremely pleased with him. Alright. Ida, Condon, and Richie all look pretty good. Canarella is heating up. This is excellent. This is what we'd like to see from Canarella. This is why I gave him all that money, to be a top tier leadoff guy. He's getting caught. Stealing base a little bit too much. Maybe pick your spots a bit more, but Tovar should not be hitting second anymore. I realize this. Let's fix that. It could be Fermin, but in all honesty, mm, mm, let's try Fermin hitting second, and let's let Tovar hit, I don't know, maybe seventh is fine. Now, who hits second here? I guess Dalis can try it for right now. The problem is that Tovar doesn't have the bat he used to, and while he's still a valuable player, letting him at second shortcuts the offense a little bit. Now we've got plenty of people to get on base for guys like Ida, Condon, and Richie. We could conceivably swap Richie and Condon, but Condon still has the thump. We just need to have more than thump. 222 is not sustainable. He is getting better, though, so if he heats up a little bit more, I'll feel a lot better about our overall chances here. Micah Bell is 31 years old, and he may just be washed at this point. I feel like we've seen enough of him this season to know that he's a guy who had one good season, and I don't think it's worth keeping him around any longer. So the question then becomes who starts instead of him. Edwin Brito probably needs another shot in the major leagues, in all honesty. He actually has performed fairly well, but let's just let him cook a little bit more. It could be Barry Keller if I really don't want to try Santa Cruz. But I think we just do Santa Cruz. I think we treat this as an audition for the fifth starter role. Swap Yokozuna, and then we just get another reliever. That seems very doable. Let's... It's, in all honesty, it's probably Wagner, I think. Yeah? Oh, no, wait, we do want to start. We do want to start because we want somebody that can fill in if somebody gets hurt. If that's the case, and perfect frankness, the only one of these guys that I look at and say this person could maybe start someday is Keller. So let's go ahead and promote Barry Keller. I actually could try to promote Acevedo, maybe. But he is real rough. He's real rough. Bobby Rivera quite literally had a chance, but then his arm just disintegrated. These things happen. You wonder why I'm picking Keller? Because he can still throw strikes. That's very, very important for a young pitcher, and it's something that I value very highly. So we're going to promote Keller. Basically, the new emergency starter. It's a lot of pressure on Santa Cruz, possibly, but he's actually pitched at a reasonably high level. He walks too much. This is probably the thing I would have him fix. But he's got some good strikeout motion here. So giving him the chance to start is a good idea. Fermina's playing well enough that I don't want to bench him. As is, I mean, I guess I could promote Brito over Ito Hell, but yeah, 200 at bats playing this poorly is probably something I shouldn't just soak just because people kind of like him. Let's bring Brito back. Is our friend the Burrito? And then Brito's just going to slot in here. Cool. Next decision is... That's probably it. I guess in point... I guess what I actually could have... I could have just shifted Abel to whatchamacallit, to being the emergency starter, but yeah, you were already on very thin ice to begin with, but losing strikeouts per nine and increasing walks per nine, Forgot's already 31 years old, not smart. He made a poor decision to pitch poorly this year, and he will suffer the consequences for it. We get Leon back in a day, that's pretty cool. I'm not going to commit to Dulles. I just don't think he's got what this team needs, which is exemplary defense. I also think Leon has way more offensive upside than he does, so yeah, you can go back to AAA. The next big change we should probably consider is replacing Isaiah Swain. We have a DH that's like hitting like utter garbage, and that doesn't help us. I don't know if I have a particularly polished hitter though that's ready for a big moment. I could carry 3 catchers for fun, and we could let Fontenot be the guy. I'm not totally opposed to that, but like in reality, we just don't have very much in the way of quality offense. We have some in the mid and the high minors, but it's going to be well before they get there. All right, let's promote Dan Salas, Bobby Mendez, Jeff Jeffcoat, The absolute legend that he is. Robbie Brewer is just like vaporizing A ball. Let's go ahead and actually promote him to double A. He's already 20. I'm trying people that have multiple years in high A or at least A ball. Tom Baker could probably be promoted to double A, I think. I think that's a reasonable take. Yeah. Cool. Let's do the thing and let us progress to the combine. Okay. I can't have Alex Montoy, Sergio Nunez, Tony Nunez, or Gus Martinez. Okay. There you go. Problem solved. Okay. It looks like the problem is that they suck, which is an important problem to not have. Yeah. Did that solve that particular problem too? It did. Let's do combining, shall we? I'll just let the AI scout decide what to do. Sure, why not? I believe in you. I'm just gonna let you cook. Because we're picking where we're picking, it's hard to argue that we have, like... You can go to double A. Isaiah? No, Jibrin Hoffman go to double A too. There we go, problem solved. Yeah. I was in the middle of saying something and I forgot what I was saying, so I'm just gonna pretend I didn't say anything. Yeah. How about you go to hell, okay? You motherfucker. We are 55 and 27 in June, and your complaint is you didn't get anybody from Denver. I'm gonna keep the Major League coaching staff together. We've got a ton of chemistry, and I see no reason to break that up when we're all doing fairly well. You know what? Contract extensions for everybody. 2 people need to be sweet talked. Okay, they need to require my personal touch. Pedro Gonzalez is actually a very solid manager, so I definitely want to keep him around. Walt McKeel is acceptable. I see no reason to get rid of him yet, but he is already 61, so we'll probably need to replace him sooner or later. Remington is still second overall. We have some really, really good players in the minors. They're just all very far away from the majors. Like our low minors are pretty stacked. Into double A, actually. Double A has 3 very, very strong players. Carlos Martinez is an excellent all-around outfielder. Robbie Brewer is not a shortstop, but he is a very, very good second baseman and potentially an excellent outfielder. And then Yasukawa is the big one. Like, he is the guy that we're really hoping turns out because he is the future Tovar. So the big 3 down here. I'm gonna shortlist both of you. I can't believe I didn't already shortlist Yasukawa. That's a real mistake on my part. Danny Gonzalez is so far away from the major leagues, but if he works out, he is exceptional. Like he is, we kind of have like a four horsemen of great young offensive position players. Gonzalez might be the best of them. Like catchers that can hit 30 home runs a year, but also play amazing defense. It just doesn't happen. Like Johnny Bench, Ivan Rodriguez, both of them in their primes were like that, but it's not a thing you find often. That someone is that good offensively and defensively. Someone might say Cal Raleigh this year. Um, the metrics say he's a competent, what you call it, a competent catcher, but he's not necessarily elite. Like he's not going to win any Cy Young awards anytime soon. I'm deeply sorry to you, Danny Martinez, but now that you have played for Atlanta, you're now dead to me. I know it wasn't your choice, but I don't care. You cheated on me. You cheated on the entire state of Colorado. I've always wanted to, like, maybe not live in Colorado, but visit it for longer. I was there once for a couple weeks for work. The Colorado Avalanche are my favorite hockey team. It's where the Av and Av Guardian comes from. If you didn't know that, now you do. Um, but when I was there, I didn't get a ton of chance to like explore the city or the area. But I'm down for it. I would love to visit Denver. So if you are from Denver or know people from Denver, then I'm interested to see what you have to say about Colorado as a state. Also, the altitude sickness really jacked me up, which is another reason I could never live there full time. I've been in both Salt Lake City and Denver, and they had very similar issues for me. The altitude kind of wrecked my shit. Nice, we got an All-Star Game MVP. That's very cool. Um, let's see who made the All-Star. Obviously, Ida made it, which is pretty exciting. Oh yeah, I'm looking at the wrong team. Haha. Colin Ritchie made it. Ida made it. Condon didn't. Maybe a bit surprising. Will Levy made it, and John Begin made it. So we had 4 All-Stars this year. Probably could have had more, but I'm not opposed to having 4. Um, like Condon is not playing well this year. Like, okay, it's easy to look at the home run totals and go, wow, he's having a great season. But he's not putting the ball in play enough. If you don't put the ball in play, you don't get the maximum value out of your players. Do we make Colin Ritchie the new cleanup guy? Maybe. Maybe that's a thing that we do, or maybe we just leave it alone because we have the number 4 scoring offense. It's not really worth dithering about it. Dithering is a phenomenal word, by the way. Canarella should have gotten some consideration, I guess, for the All-Star game, but it's obvious why he didn't make it. Tovar made it. Nice. Plus, Richie is like a genuinely great third baseman, which is hard to find. And defensively, he's competent. Isaiah Sway needs to go. We've got to solve that particular. That's the next big upgrade is replacing Swain. A rotation looks really good. So it's easy to look at beginning think he's having a bad season. Really, it's just he's been a bit more unlucky with home runs. That's the difference. Like he is doing his job. He's just not doing it as well as he has in the past. He's still the best reliever in the major leagues, and it's not particularly close either, in my opinion. Like Tovar, I don't care if he hits less than great because he's here to play good defense. But if Swain can't hit, we need to find someone to replace Swain. We could bring up Jeff Jeffcoat. I mean, literally anybody would be better as a DH than Swain. Like that's the issue we're running into. The man has had 285 at bats, and he is very far from being league average, and that's not good. It's not good. Do we try Corey Fontenot? Is that where we are right now? I think maybe we do. I think we say goodbye to Mr. Swain and we call up Mr. Fontenot. Is he going to be any better? I don't know. But he's not okay. So yeah, we try it. Does Mr. Fontenot... Mr. Fontenot can't really handle right-handed pitching all that well. He's not useless against him, but... Kenley Hunter probably deserves a little bit more love from me. We're stretched kind of thin because of platoons, is one of our big issues. We're stretched very thin because of platoons. Maybe we play Fermin every day. Yeah, we play Fermin every day. Which then instantly changes everything. Like, Leon no longer hits second. This is the right take. There we go. Now we have the addition of Brito, which means we have somebody else that can DH if we want. That feels good to me. That feels like something we want to do. Like, letting Brito come in and play every once in a while is completely fine with me. I just don't think he should be playing, like, constantly, but... This is just an experiment, right? Like, but this is a guy who has vaporized AAA for us the last couple seasons. Admittedly in a very hitters environment, but... Oh, wait a minute. We traded... Oh, okay. I guess, yeah, you got drafted by the Royals, and then we traded for you. Okay. Our offense is going to get a gigantic shot in the arm when Milam comes back. That's something I'm really looking forward to. All right. So there are 480 overalls that we're excited about. Ray Smith, Justin Conover, Lance Haddock, and Ray Johnson. What is my draft budget? I think it's not very large. Here we go. It's about $5 million. So you know what I can't do? I cannot even consider drafting a guy who's got a $9 million bonus. That can't happen. It's probably Conover. Purely because it makes financial sense, and it still leaves us with some money to spend later on. And Conover is a legit prospect. He's a very, very good catcher. I think we just take Conover and we don't overthink it to make sure that I've got enough money to pay for all the things. Alright. I want to go under slot one more time so that we have money to spend on other people. Kai Bartlett is quite popular. Jose Banuelos. He's real good. There's no disputing that. 2 amazing pitches. Good overall stats here. Great velocity. Works hard. You know what? I'm into it. Done. Jonathan Anderson. Yes. I don't know where he plays. I don't know what his actual position is, but he's a 3rd round pick and has some pretty high upside. So yeah, we take these. All right. Esteban Fernandez keeps falling for some reason. I think he's interesting enough that he is worth taking. He's got quite a bit of thump. Doesn't strike out very much. He seems like a pretty complete hitter. Maybe could be a little better in gap power, but I think he is very worth taking. Very, very worth taking. I mean, high school relievers are kind of a risk. I'm not saying that the Banuelos pick isn't potentially fraught, but all right. I want to add a starter. We could add Darvin Jesus Berry. I think that's reasonable. Why is he? Oh, I guess he is just the best starter that's left. I'm cool with this. He's a pretty solid pitcher, all things considered. Come on, Darving. And that's our 5-man draft class, which is pretty exciting. It's not the whole draft class, obviously, but Eli Taylor is a wonderful pick. I love it. He costs me no money, and he is very solid from top to bottom. We take that. Another high school relief right here, you saying? He is decent. Yeah, okay. I'm very much trying to make sure I'm not drafting people that cost money because I don't want the owner to be like, LOL, you can't sign any of your players. Don Oak is not a second baseman. Steve Castile's even less of a good player than he is. Frank McDaniel is low-key pretty solid, and I think we can afford 650K. I think that's fine. So we take that. 9th round pick. Mike Blair, maybe? Mike Blair is fine. Like, he's got stuff working for him. He's got pretty good defense in the corners. He's got competent offensive skills. He's not great, but I think he's pretty decent. I think Mike Blair is someone I can get excited about. Well, for a given value of excited. We like Jim Sellers, and he keeps falling in the draft. I do like Jim Sellers, actually. Yeah, we'll take Jim Sellers. All right. We're at the point of the draft where most players are going to be, like, relatively cheap. So now let's try to get big-time tools. Brett McCann is somebody I'm kind of into. I mean, he's obviously the worst in terms of striking out, but maybe we can fix that. I can fix him. Maybe. Let's look for defense, actually. Let's take a quick peeky peek. And let's just look for primary position defense. This is very exciting. He's a very solid player. His range is a bit shocking to me, but he is a very good defender who has enough bat that he's not completely helpless. Let's grab Mr. Guerra here. Eric Schneider is apparently an otherworldly defensive catcher, but he's not very much of a hitter, so let's maybe not worry about that. Let's get some more pitching. I do need more pitching in my system. Always need more pitching. All players, I guess. He's got really outstanding control. You know what, Mr. Borrego? I don't hate it. Let's draft him. I know he's a 39 potential, but I think he's got some interesting tools. I know you're about ready to say you're a tool, and I say, you know what? That's fair. That's fair. You're the kind of pitcher that, with even the slightest of tweaks one way or another, you become much better. Right now, you are a very reliable strike thrower who doesn't give up a lot of home runs, but none of his pitches overwhelm. And that makes sense because the velocity is so low. I still think he is interesting enough that we take him, but my expectations aren't super high. I mean, it is, the 14th round, so. Let me look at starting pitchers. I mean, it wouldn't be an Guardian draft with the Rockies if I didn't take at least. Oh, he's impossible. Caleb Newman also impossible. Okay. Brian King impossible. Oh my god! Stop giving me impossible. Okay. Just cease. We could have Mike Tony as a treat. Yeah, whatever. This is just about getting warm bodies more than it is getting the most excellent players. And now let's instantly switch back to the good batting potential view, and let's get some more hitters. Let's grab Sam Goosen. He's quite the silly Goosen, and I'm into it. Josh Green, the man that never strikes out but also can't play the field. Yikes. I could see taking John Lewis. Let's take John Lewis. He's a very hardworking defender. I respect that. Always good to have those in your system. Yeah, we're under our draft budget right now, which is exciting. Any big old thumpers left to get excited about? Quinn Orwan cannot play. If you put him at second or even third, I think Orwan is acceptable. So we can grab him. Jonathan Hedgecock. Sure. And let's grab a reliever, okay? Let's just grab a reliever. John Martin seems like a great choice. Let's grab him. I mean, great choice is doing a lot of work here. He's basically as I throw junk and hope nobody hits it, but it's pretty good for the 20th round, right? Okay. Let me offer you, my dear friend, a small bag of money. $650,000 signing bonus would go really hard. I do think one thing that especially like older baseball fans always complain about is that players make too much money. That's not generational wealth. 650 grand is enough to get a nice start in life, but it's not enough to like live the rest of your life off of the interest. Yeah. I mean, if you want to say baseball players make too much money compared to nurses or teachers or whatever, I agree with you. But also, this is what society has decided, and if you don't like it, then your problem's really with society. It's not really a problem with baseball players. But I do agree that teachers and nurses and doctors, so all those wonderful people, firefighters are underpaid and deserve more than they make, probably. We had some retirements. Okay. Let's get ourselves someone amazing at development. Let me grab Nate Holscher, I think is a good choice. I think he's a good fit. Teacher of pitching. Yeah, let's grab... Oh, you're someone else's pitching coach, which means if I hire you, you're probably going to get into a bidding war. Who are you currently coaching for? You're currently coaching for AAA. So you probably don't want, like, a pretty gigantic... Let's just grab Billy Ashley instead. Why not? There we go. Done. Guys are pretty jacked up. They're like, fuck yeah. I want to be a rookie coach for the Rockies. Neat. Nope. Dom Rogers is the worst. Nope. Okay. Getting Milam back is massive. Like, I have no problem with Fauski. I think Fauski has done acceptably well. Vega goes back to AAA. Milam... Oh, Milam has to be added to the 40-man. I need to make room. Okay. Victor Enriquez is second base and he can't second base. What if I quickly traded you? Maybe somebody's going to be like, holy shit, that's the one piece we need. Nope. I'll probably be able to get him off the roster then. I don't think I'll get too much friction. Alright. So do you Milam... Milam... And then Fauski backs up. Letting Fontenot get some regular starts at catcher is fine with me. Note Fontenot also sucks. Like, he's also very badly struggling to be a useful DH. Maybe just forgot on every other fucking at-bat, you would play better. I expected more from Ida, I truly did. But he's still pretty effective. Like, he's still pretty good at his job. He's just maybe not what I was hoping for. But he's getting on base and he's hitting home runs at a fairly prodigious rate. And that's very good for me. That makes me very happy. He's literally our best player. Mostly because Condon has just not hit for average the whole season. Like, one of the things that makes him great is that he does hit, 260, 270, and also hits, 30 to 40 home runs. Now he's just hitting the home runs. Which isn't the worst thing ever, but the strikeouts have gone up. So, Colin Ritchie's are really good this year. Like, low-key, the only reason he's not even better is because he does hit fifth, which means he gets less opportunities. But getting Milam back is pretty great. I know every time I say something, I say it differently. It's because I'm never quite sure. Cool. This is why my salary is borked for next year. It's because Pineda wants all of the money in arbitration, and I'm not blaming him for wanting it, but he's not going to get it. We'll go up to the trading deadline, I guess. I would love another starting pitcher. I think my problem is I can't get one. Because we are so limited, because we cannot just add major league quality players. I basically have no way to upgrade this team. I don't want a bad reliever. Like, I just don't want that. Why would you think I'd want that? Are you stupid? I don't want your terrible pictures. Like, oh my god. Reject. Yeah, no one's gonna give up a starting pitcher that I find interesting. So I think we just probably just skip the trade deadline here. Um, Shin is really struggling this year. I think come postseason time, I think Shin mm, was in between this year and last year. Like, why do you look like you're worse? I think you're just giving up home runs slightly more often. Like, you're actually dealing with hitters better than you did last year. Like, you actually are a better pitcher this year. And your volume is higher. But what you don't do is you're giving up more home runs, and that counts against you in terms of WAR. But yeah, like my postseason pitching staff is probably Levy, Pineda, and maybe even Santa Cruz over any of my other choices. I mean, Ozuna is fine if we make it. I mean, okay, we should repeat should make the postseason with a bye. So that means that we're going to need four starters, and it's probably Levy, Pineda, Ozuna, and Santa Cruz, with Shin coming out of the bullpen. Um, I think this is probably it for Mr. Shin. I think he has done incredible service for us, but I don't see him. I don't want him pitching in the postseason. If we look at his postseason numbers, actually last year he was decent in the postseason, but he also barely got to play. So that's kind of how I feel right now. Let's go ahead and end the day. There's nothing that I wanted and nothing I was going to get that was interesting. So, like, you're all offering me, like, players that I'm not allowed to have because of my self imposed rules. Alright. Nothing too wild going on here. Rodarte is getting better, although not by very much. Okay. Cool. Enriquez enjoyed double A because that's probably as high as you'll ever get. I would like to clinch the postseason as quickly as possible. That would make me very happy. I mean, I guess that's unfortunate. He's actually had a fairly good season, but, like, it's not the end of the world. Um, Olsen, my dude, why can't you add that one sliver of control, my guy? I think Danny Roque has a real shot to get his spot. Maybe. Maybe we should just go for Kyrone and make him like a lefty killer. That's reason. Oh, he's not a lefty killer. Yeah, I think we just go with Kyrone. I think it's fine. He's just a middle reliever. It's his role isn't that gigantic. Now I don't have a lefty killer. Maybe that's something I need to address actually. I need organization, minor leagues, pitchers. Into the fall view, why would I not want to know the arm that they throw with and or hit with? That just seems pretty basic to me. Hmm. I have literally zero high-ranking pitchers that are lefties. I mean, unironically, we could try Mario Acevedo as a lefty reliever. I think I so desperately need a lefty. Like, as much as I don't hate Kyrone, I need the lefty. I need the lefty quite badly. So I think we go ahead and we add Acevedo. He does get it done against lefties, so you know what? You're in. And if you want to stretch your arm out a little bit, then that's fine. You get some long relief work in, potentially. Conceivably. Great. Remember how excited we were about Mario Acevedo at one point, thinking like, "Oh wow, he and Levy are gonna dominate, Major League Baseball for decades to come," and then one of those things never happened. Okay, that's fucking dick move action right there. Okay, that is incredibly rude. I don't know what you're on about, but it's rude as heck. Um, that infuriates me. That truly does. To take one of the best pitchers in all of Major League Baseball and then deprive me of him in the stretch run. Um, like, we can definitely hope that he's ready to go for the postseason. I don't know that the timing works out exactly. I think we're definitely not going to have him for the first round. Um, I mean, we clinched the postseason already. That's fun. We won 100 games. That's fun. I said I didn't call anybody up for expanded rosters, which is kind of whatever. Like, I don't really care. Nice. Will Levy has won the ERA crown and the pitching crown. Nice. Winning the league at ERA, how close are you to actually getting the pitching triple crown? Probably not very. If we look at stats and we look at pitching leaders, how close was he to getting leading the league? He wasn't even close to strikeouts. Paul Skeens was, which is very reasonable. Fifth in strikeouts is nothing to sneeze at, though. Nothing to sneeze at in the slightest. All right, postseason roster. Okay, have you completely lost your goddamn mind? I think you have. Why the fuck would I ever leave Pineda off the postseason roster? Leaving those guys off was all fine. I want to take one more. Ozuna's actually Ozuna wasn't that great this year. I think he and Shin are probably about the same. No, he actually was better than Shin. Um, I do want Ozuna. So here's my postseason Ross. Here's my postseason rotation. It's the two of you plus Pineda plus Santa Cruz. And then the question comes down, is it Ozuna or is it Shin? Like, Ozuna was definitely a better pitcher over fewer innings, but the fact is he did throw fewer innings. Which I think makes more sense to put Shin in the bullpen. Where he can be a long reliever emergency starter and just be there to soak up innings. That's a very valuable role to have in the postseason, I believe. Do we do Riddick instead of Cruz? I think we do Riddick instead of Cruz. Let's let Cruz be the closer and Riddick can be the setup guy again. All right. Like, I hope Begin is ready to go very quickly, but he's out for 2 to 3 weeks, so he's definitely not going to be available for us in the first round. All right. This is a very important first round. I mean, all the rounds are important at this point. Um, yeah, I'm not gonna say anything. Let's just play the games. Nice work in the late innings. Very exciting. Damn, we scored all of our runs in the 8th inning. What a guy. Charlie Condon catches a 3-run homer. That's pretty exciting. And then Pineda gets it done. Nice. There's a lot of pressure for a rookie in Santa Cruz, but he's had a very, very good year. So I think it's a spot I can trust him in. And I was right to do it. Nice. Okay, low key, Santa Cruz has been fucking amazing. He has hit the ground running, and I should never have doubted him. Even though his cutter still hasn't gotten any better, he's pitching extremely effectively, so I will take it every single day of the week. So Begin probably just missed the entire postseason. Probably. That's rude. I don't know why you would choose to be injured. That's not being a team player. Do I care about Nick Aronson? Um, who's on the postseason roster? Who would I leave off to add? Whatcha-jigger? To add Aronson? Would I even add Aronson? I probably would. I would definitely carry Aronson because, yeah, I need the lefty. Yeah, I think we drop Acevedo and we add Aronson. I think that's smart. Aronson's just way better against lefties and is a much more natural reliever. So we're gonna do specialist and then middle relief. That seems good. All right. I got excited. Thought his name was actually Fireman. I was like, what an incredible name, but it wasn't his name. All right, guys. Can we take out the Brewers? That's a great start. See, this is bad by Shin. Like Shin obviously pitched quite poorly, but this is the kind of role that I want him to fill in. Like when we have a fairly big lead, I want Shin coming into the game to just soak up the innings. That is what he is best suited for at this point in his career. All right, so we're off to a good start. Got to keep up the pressure. Nice. You know, obviously postseason's not over with yet, etc., etc. Pineda was brought in to be a big game contributor, and that is exactly what he's done. Like he has been excellent his 2 trips to the postseason, so hopefully he can continue this uh, going forward. Not the people have retired. Oh no. Anyway. Wow. My dude, this is how legends are born, you know? Motherfucking rookie steps in there and is like, what if I just threw 7 2/3 innings, allowing only 4 base runners the whole game? That's incredible. Betrayal, Sean Gamble. Wow, did you get really good? Oh, this is not my Sean Gamble. This is a. Oh, that's right. This isn't White Sox Sean Gamble. This is other Sean Gamble. Boom! I said World Series or bust, and so far it's not bust yet. Oh shit! I don't want to do that. No, 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 no. I like doing it one game at a time for maximum drama. Oh yes! Oh my god. That's the biggest. That is ginormous. Shin, my friend, I hope you don't take this personally. No, I'm gonna leave off Kyrone. Give me Begin instantaneously. Alright. There is every realistic approach to leaving Riddick in as the closer, but the fact is Begin is the best closer in baseball. This means Cruz moves back to middle relief. This means Riddick is the 8th inning setup guy. This means Torres is the 7th inning setup guy. I love it. The postseason... Okay, the real heroes in this postseason, real talk, are the Toros for making the ALCS go to 7 games. So that Begin would be ready to come back. That is very huge. That makes me very happy. It's Yankees v. Rockies. The other part about us sweeping is that we got to reset our rotation. And I think this is the best version of our rotation. So let's be about it, friends. Ooh. A game 1 defeat because Riddick fucked up. Levy got hurt. That's very bad. I hope he's not hurt for a long time. That is ungood. And then Pineda got worked up. Oh no. Santa Cruz, come on. There we go. We gotta win. Alright. We're on the brink of elimination. This is very ungood. Levy, my friend, you gotta get it done. I'm gonna close my eyes. Maybe it'll help. It didn't. Fucking Fernando Romero just melted in a pressure situation. Like, real talk, I blame Pineda. I absolutely blame Pineda for this transgression. Him shitting the bed in game 2 just completely wrecked us. Completely wrecked us. Like, every game was fairly close except for game 2. And our bullpen didn't get it done. Our bullpen was the best in the National League, or very close to it, and yet it didn't get it done when it really mattered. That sucks. That makes me grumpy. But the Yankees are really, really good. Like, it's not like there's any shame in losing to them, but our bullpen fucking up is not what I had hoped would happen. I hoped our bullpen would be a big strength, and instead they choked when it mattered most. Wow. I said World Series or bust. I mean, I guess I could retroactively say, oh, I meant make the World Series or bust, but I genuinely expected to win. I had one fear that I chose not to verbalize, which was that Will Levy got hurt. Like, as much as losing Begin sucked, Losing Levy would have made me cry. I would have been utterly devastated had we lost Levy. I'm going to avoid the contract here. Shin can find a new place in life. Let's break down how it went. Was this a season that we didn't expect? So, Ida was very good. Very, very good. And in a very realistic sense, probably got us over the hump. But Ida wasn't otherworldly, and he's already lost a lot of his power. That makes me very sad. He's lost some of his power. Canarella is back to his old tricks. This is what we want, right? This is what Canarella's here for, to play excellent center field and also be an on-base machine. He did both of those things very well this year. Tovar is almost entirely a glove at this point. His bat, like, hovers between acceptable and not acceptable, but he's mostly here for his glove. Anderson Fermin had a really good year. Not a great year, but a good one. By far the most disappointing thing that happened all season is this. Like, this is very not good. And it gives me very strong concerns for the future. The plan wasn't for Ida to replace Condon, it was for Ida to supplement Condon. And Condon just not hitting anymore is really disappointing. Nice year by Leon, nice year by Milam. The key takeaway here is it was basically a group effort. Everybody provided something of value to the team, which is very helpful. Our pitching, Will Levy was utterly dominant this year. Truly, truly dominant. I hope he's got a chance to win the Cy Young for the National League. It'd be cool if he did. But the rest of you guys look pretty good. Alright. So I'm in a bit of a conundrum. I enjoyed the season quite a lot. Shout out to Ruben Santa Cruz, who exceeded every expectation I ever had. But I'm starting to get fatigued with this particular series. At least a little bit. So, we're still going to do 2 more episodes for sure. There's every possibility that Condon wakes up out of his funk and that next year's team is also very good. We won 103 games. And we made it to the World Series. If my goal was to prove that you can be effective if you rely heavily on homegrown players, then mission accomplished. And I know that people are going to be like, but Abby, you have these international free agents backing up your roster. That is accurate. That's a true statement. But I still think that this is a homegrown team. Quite literally, no one on the team has ever played a major league at-bat or thrown a pitch for anybody other than the Colorado Rockies at the major league level. If we play another episode, if we do another season, do we play better? I think it's impossible for us to play better than we did. Just getting it out there right now. Players could obviously perform better individually, but to say we're better as a franchise seems unlikely. Seems very unlikely. How much does Will Levy want for a long-term deal? It's probably all the money that has ever existed, right? Just for fun. This money has to come down in year 1. I just want to see if we can even afford... Oops. That's fine. Let's try that. And then let's see if I can get you to give me a couple of team options at the end, just for fun. I was thinking we can actually lock up Levy. I hope we can. What does this do for you? Cool. Done. I'm not going to overthink it. He's really good. All right. Um, I'll wait to see what you guys think in the comments. Maybe you all are super invested and want me to keep going. But I feel like other than luck, this is the best team we could possibly have imagined. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. I also want to see how the poll does. In case you didn't know already, if you look at the community polls, I announced voting for the next Monday series when this series wraps up. So do make sure to take a moment and vote there. Yeah. Hmm. I don't know, guys. I'm gonna think about it. Until next time, my friends, this has been Abguardian. Thank you for watching, and I bid you good day. Where's the button? There's a button. Alright, seriously, good day this time. Bye-bye.